Alright, greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast, brought to you by Fifth Dimension, brought to you by Absolute Insanity. So if you're looking for unconventional connections, looking for something, you're not going to get this anywhere else. Fuck. So, I've been doing the Zeus channelings, and I can probably beat that to death for some people, but I think I already mentioned this, that there is information in there that is useful. So I'm not sure where that's gonna go. I might just do that, like this regular video and just do a Zeus one, which will just drain me even more. But I think there's something there somewhere. Now with the last Zeus channeling, the Stalin came up. So hopefully this is recording right, but so I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to bring in for Stalin, but what the hell, right? Now anything on Hitler like gets banned, like you're just ain't happening. Stalin's a different story. I don't think anybody gives a shit about Stalin, so perfect. So I don't know a whole lot about Stalin. I listened to a biography, but I fell asleep during it. So this isn't going to be all about Stalin though. That's going to be actually at the end, but I'm going to put it in the beginning because for the hell of it. Because what I'm going to do before that, so this is a disclaimer. Stalin's at the end. Even if I ever get to it, this might be a longer recording than usual too. But here, I'm going to... Shit. You're not going to get this anywhere else, that's for sure. I'm not sure if there's anything to be proud of, but either way. So this is like opening up doors into my own self, of how to take over a planet. And it's like, how do you know this shit? Well, apparently I've done it many times. Now this is not about destroying worlds. It's about how you take over them. So I'm gonna give you a kind of my take on it, what I'm allowing myself to remember. And I think this is like a lot of self-healing, and no wonder my name is Mud in a lot of spiritual areas, because it probably took over the world and fucked their societies up. But I don't know if this is, I don't remember if this is in the Zeus channeling about Stalin. I think it was, but I'll bring it up real quick. So if you're like a Stalin, we're going to Stalin for a second. So if you're a Stalin type of person on our world, third dimension, you just have a heightened ability to manipulate people, whatever it is. Eventually, those abilities be taken away. So this is why you have your people, your crew around you. Your people, your second mate, your third mate, whatever. Your I don't know what they call it, but they call it something. I forget what they call it, but the less I know, the better. Anyway, your army, your second in command, third in commands, whatever, and you can always replace them. But first off, you use them. You do your genocide, whatever the hell it is. And in a genocide situation, it says has Stalin, what's his name, Hitler, and Mao all did their kind of genocidal ways, which was also clearing out of the old vibrations, the old mentalities. And yeah, that looks pretty terrible on their end. But it was kind of like to give humanity a refresh, too. Rebuild, do something different. Because a lot of those people are probably stuck in the old ways, on the old. Nothing wrong with any of that. Of course, it's been happening all throughout history. So they've always had. Now, not that we're going to have that anymore. And also, I forgot about this. Yeah, another thing about that Chinese, the bioweapon thing. I still believe that's true. And I just want to get. I forgot. I was going to mention this in the beginning. I don't think there's anything to panic about. Obviously, take it seriously. But I think most of it is contained from what I can feel from it. So it's not going to be a shutdown of America. It might be shut down certain cities. New York makes sense, because there's a lot of people going through there. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as what people... the mind is kind of weird. The mind can take something that's not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but then make it, the end of the world. And I don't think it's gonna happen, but I mean, we're doing hurricanes here. They said we're gonna get a direct hit. We're gonna get wiped out. Still waiting for that. So, everybody says get out here and go sit in traffic and get hit by a hurricane that way. It's like, no thanks. So this is the same thing. So this is why connecting to your guides and everything is important. It takes time. There's no easy way to understand any of this, but yeah, this disease is a big deal. But anyway, okay, sorry about that. I forgot to throw that in there. Disclaimer, disease update. Okay, enough about that. Beat that to death. Where am I going? Oh yeah, with the armies and all that. Like if you're a dictator, you got all your people, and you get karma for this shit during this little campaign. You start getting blockages, mental blockages. You can't think right. That's why you have all your little minions around you to do your bidding. And if they don't do right, you just shoot them and put somebody else in charge. It's no big deal. As long as you're world genocide or whatever the hell they're trying to do, as like Stalin, I believe. What was his name? Damn it. That other guy he worked with. Oh, I'm not good on my history. Anyway, Stalin for the most part was healthy. He didn't feel guilty about what he was doing. Not that he wouldn't have mental blockages or anything, but if there's, what was his name? Lenin. Lenin had a health problem because he felt guilty. Like, this is further than I would go. It's like Stalin's like, fuck everybody, I'll just fucking murder everyone, fuck it. And Lenin was like, fuck this shit, and got sick, and yeah, because it was like a karma thing. It's like, I'm not doing this shit. And so, obviously Stalin's a whole other story, but anyway. So I'm not sure, like when I channel that later, I don't know if anything's going to come through. Or just say, screw humanity, I'm going to come after you. I don't think he's going to do that, but anyway, yeah, it's just like when your mind's not working as a dictator, you get your crew around you to do your bidding. Even if you're not thinking the clearest anymore, others around you can and will. And you're like a figurehead now. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the Queen. Queen doesn't do shit, right? She just signs stuff and just like probably does her own genocide here and there. So I wouldn't doubt it. God, it's like the Queen is like the debutante from hell. It's like, I'm sorry, but she's like the debutante from hell. And when she reincarnates, oh man, the parent of that is gonna lose her freaking mind. It's like, oh, she walks around a queen and thinks she's the boss of everybody. She's like 2 years old. It's like, God help us all. It's like, fuck, what do we do to deserve this shit? Love royalty. Okay, alright, so we're clearing all that out. So how do you take over a planet? So, obviously, through my incarnations, I was like put in prison and stuff was done to me, and just like, you have rulers over you. I'll just move this. And, you're like a galactic creature. You're like this ugly thing that, I realize these are different lifetimes, not all one. These are, this went on for a long time. So, especially when you're having a blast doing it. It's like, fuck. Well, they made it easy. Let's put it that way. But anyway, it's like you're already a creature of the night or whatever you are. So you get yourself enhanced. It's like you already look scary. You look scary for a reason. You use it to your advantage. You use it to intimidate reptilians, carrions, doesn't matter. Intimidate the shit out of them. It's like you're like this unknown creature with like Arcturian Zeta infusions that you know how to you alter your DNA in a way where you can cloak yourself, where you can change what you look like, and really fuck them up. Even tap into their energy. Now, how do you do that without getting attacks? There's ways around it. apparently. I don't know the details of it, but he got away with a lot. Yeah, it's like the universe is almost like, let's see where you take this. It's like, we're not going to beat the shit out of you. We want to see, we'll let, if somebody kick your ass, it's fine, but we want to see where you can take this. Something like that. So, I don't know how all the details on that, but okay, so I'll give you a scenario like a humanoid world. A humanoid world that's kind of has a military presence. Everybody's, I don't know, they're eating apples all day. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just doing their daily life pretty normal, but they have a military presence there. So what do? You move in quietly, unseen. Your ships don't fly from the sky and say, hey, we're going to come kick your ass. That's a stupid way of doing it. You can do that if you want to be defeated. If you don't want to be defeated, you come in cloaked. I mean, they have no idea that you're there. You slowly move in. You slowly go into... First off, you monitor the hell out of the place. And this is longevity. You take a long time to monitor it. And you do it secretly, quiet. This is what patience is so important. People get all crazy about patience. It's like, I want my aliens now. That's what they want. They want you to go crazy. And like the super villains are outside laughing their asses off because everybody's crying because they got no aliens. And the super villains, yeah, get all crazy, get on Ritalin, get on something, and be done with you. Yeah, the best thing to take over a planet, you're quiet, you're and if you have it's like you're the main boss and you have all these little minions around you and doing what you say, and some of them get impatient. You kick their ass, you kill them, whatever. You got to be quiet about all this. So you move in to the military and slowly take it over. All across the way. You take one over after the other. Slowly. It's like you almost replace their people with your people. And those are kind of like double agents or infiltrators. And it's like, you came from this planet, they just, have some kind of alien disguise, whatever the hell it is. There's different ways of going about it, but we're just doing the Cliff Notes version of it. So yeah, and you just, like hey, I'm an alien from this planet. Here are my credentials from alien whatever, and obviously it's not who they think it is, but they get past because they don't see any reason of infiltration. Not seeing, there's no red flags anywhere. There's those ships in the skies that scare the shit out of everybody. There's nothing. Everything's fine. Everybody's eating apples and looking in the mirror all day, or what the hell they do. So yeah, why would you take over a planet is mostly for its resources. It's not about the people usually, it's about the resources. Maybe it might be about DNA, depending on the species. But I believe most of it has to do with resources of the planet that the people are not using or whatever it might be. The details on that are not that clear, but this is not about that. It's about how you infiltrate a planet. So yeah, you do everything secretly, slowly take over the governments, and you just do it so slowly, where it's just painfully slow, that even your own people are losing their minds. But the world does not know. It's like the whole thing of putting the the frog in the heating up the frog. It's like you turn up the heat, it jumps out, right? But you do it slowly, same thing. So you do the military, and then you go to the spiritual groups. So you infiltrate the military, you put in some kind of weird laws. It's like, wow, this is a nice person, but brought this weird law in. You can't walk on the grass on Sunday or something. It's like you slowly move in different things. That it's like, wow, this is a nice person. You're the nicest person in the world, but why are you putting this? I don't understand. But then you kind of you have others to back you too. So you're slowly taking away their rights. Slowly. I mean, dirt slow. So slow you'll go insane. Because it has to go slow, because if you fail, you're going so slow, you can have a backup to come in slowly, you can't have any red flags anywhere. Obviously, you're putting in rules to take people's rights away, but this is for your better. But you have to have others that back you too, and that's what spiritual groups, you infiltrate those too. And those you put in like either, you manipulate those that are highly loved, like they have like on YouTube, like have a high following, but kind of full of shit. And you kind of you bullshit the bullshitters. It's kind of like you say, oh yeah, you're great. You kind of get that ego and you keep brushing on it, so you can control them. And you do that kind of like the Illuminati. Illuminati kind of goes in with like, here's $1 million, and they're really nice to you, and they're like, here, am I going to buy your system? Something like that. We're going to buy your, but you have to do what we want. And a lot of people say no, but then some people are like, oh, well, I don't know about it. Maybe I will do that. It's kind of like that. It's, realize I'm not going into detail, but you take over the spiritual leaders, like what we have here. And so that's another way of taking over the mind. And once again, you do everything dirt slow. You have to do it dirt slow. It's painful, but it's painfully slow, but it does work. So you take over spiritual leaders that are already kind of wishy-washy already. And those that are kind of real people, doesn't matter if they see something not going on right, because you got the one that's has let's just say has like 1 million followers or more, like a Joel Osteen. I'm just using for an example. I'm not trying to bash him, but someone like a Joel Osteen, take over somebody like that, and you have all these little spiritual groups like, what the fuck is this shit? It's all of a sudden you're changing everything, and is this mind control you're doing? And then they can say conspiracy theory and all that, and you put the word like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You call them the conspiracy theorists or whatever. And it's all still very painstakingly slow. But the idea is to take over the politicians, the spiritual leaders, and then you start putting in all these bizarre controls everywhere, and you lock down the world. And you use looks, beauty, and all that. You use female or whatever. For this world, use feminine energies or male too. Use the beautiful people, and you kind of manipulate them in whatever way it works to hoax everyone, like Hollywood, and just slowly just take away rights and control people, and there you got your. There's more to it than that, but that's, I believe, like the simple version of it. But realize this takes a long freaking time. Anyway, where I'm getting from all of this is that obviously I'm not going into full detail of how I've done it in other worlds, and they're giving you enough. Even if that might not be the deepest, it doesn't matter. I believe a lot of the stuff I've done in other worlds have been used on this world. Is what I'm getting at. That's my feeling on it. Now, how far I want to go into that one, I don't know. It's like you take over, like Atlanteans, you take over the leaders of there. Some of them are real pure in love. You kill them, all of a sudden they have a disease. All of a sudden you're dead. And the ones that are assholes, you kind of cover it up with them. You kind of manipulate them. So I'm talking about like I've done it. So it's just you can the dark ones of Atlantis. You take over all their mentality, and that's the other thing. When you do this stuff, how low are you willing to go? It's like there's some bad people out there. They can only go so far. Some of you just go as far, just become like the scumbag of the universe. It's like go as low as you can. It's like really, really just bad. Just fuck everybody. It's like even those that you're like your number one, that's like working with, you just wipe him out too. It's like you don't give a shit. So it's all about now why you do all this. Like on this world, I don't know. It was easy to do. It was easy. Here it was just easy. It was an easy target. A lot of the spiritual, this is what I'm getting from ancient Atlantean. A lot of spiritual leaders are fake as shit. Some of them are really legit, good people, but there are a few of them. Others were just all love and light, but a lot of them are fucking dark motherfuckers already. It just didn't see that. That's the thing I have trouble with these spiritual workers now. They're real popular. It's like they might say all this, and there's legit positivity there, but there's also a dark side they're not showing. So, of course, I'm the asshole that brings it up, but anyway, I'm not the only one that's picking up on it. So, during the time of Atlantis, because like I don't know, they call it like the mid period of their damnation. A lot of those spiritual, higher dimensional beings they had weaknesses, and some of it, I guess, I don't know if I was one of them or not, but I don't know. A lot of that's blocked out, but let's just say they came in and just like it's all this bullshit. It's like, okay, let's find out who they really are. So they tested them, and they failed. Basically, a lot of the spiritual, positive Atlanteans were actually pretty screwed up. And the way you do that is you bring in like a real attractive woman, for example, and manipulate the shit out of these guys. Ain't hard to do. And all of a sudden, the walls come down. That's one way of doing it. Other one's money, power, whatever, but that's the easier one. That's the easiest one to bring in. So yeah, it's like you guys say you're all this, but yet we do that, and you guys are all fucked up now. So who's the one that's supposed to be helping people, and you guys are full of shit. It's like you talk the talk, but not walk the walk. That type of thing. So you might talk about all this positivity and do this and do that, and come to find out you have a lot of flaws. So obviously it's been going through. Not one to talk, but that was like the downfall of Atlantis. Just basically some of them were. I'm talking about the males that were kind of wishy-washy on their positivity. But a lot of the feminine back then, I guess some of them were feminist. Some of the women that were just power hungry and just like insane. At least during the darker times. The lighter times, I believe everybody was balanced and equal, but how long is that going to last? I mean, how many grapes and apples and perfection you can live before like testing yourself. Yeah, every world gets tested, but this one really hit the ground. So why is this world so dense? It has a lot to do with the DNA. There's so much DNA here. Yeah, it was inevitable to crash anyway, but it's so much. Yeah, there's so much deepness within all the alien species, even darkness within a lot of these alien species they didn't realize they even had. I know the reptilians get but there's a lot of other beings that don't want to be mentioned. Jeez. They had a lot of dark sides within themselves that had to be brought out. This world brought it out here. A lot of unnamed species. I'm not sure if I'm the one to bring it up, but eventually it'll come up. I don't know how that's going to work. And of course, Anunnaki's more than happy to share their issues, but it's like I would say a lot of the skeletons within a lot of the alien beings that they didn't always are aware of, like in their closets, this world brought out a lot of their darkness. And I think some of them are ashamed of it. And some of them tried to cover it up, how fucked up they are, so that's why they call it unnamed species. At least the Palladians are known to have their dark sides. The Syrians, the reptilians, obviously there's a whole crap load of other ones out there. You can't, so it'll come through when it comes through. So let's see here, planets taking over. Yeah, so a lot of these worlds Pluto got taken over. So there's like certain mechanisms you can do, even if they do have like like if they're watching out for certain things, like it's like they find an alien species trying to infiltrate them, trying to take them down. It's like, oh, we caught you guys. I call like a terrorist. Oh, we caught you. You know, we figured you guys out. We have you all figured out. So they're looking at this terrorist. You guys are bad. We're smart, and they're not noticing another group came in and did far worse. While they're looking over here, they had no idea someone else came in to fuck them up. So, you know, you have that. It's like, so just, it's, I don't know. The purpose of it, I think I'm here. Shit. So anyway, at least with this world, it's, that's why I feel like some of the cat beings, the feline beings, there's a lot of them that are positive, but some of them are not so positive. I think some of them got pissed off, they got duped. They have their own shit going on. Some of us figured it out. And they don't like that too much. And brought a lot of darkness out of themselves. So just either way, we're going into a time of deep wounds. So like seeing it, healing it, going the next direction. Realize that how to take over a planet. That's like a real Cliff's Notes version of it. I feel like they don't want me to go to too much depth into that, but at least you got the idea of it, yeah. Because there's a lot more layers apparently, but they're not letting me talk about it. So I feel like I got to as far. I don't know if it's helpful to anybody, but yeah, there's definitely a lot more layers to it. But well, yeah, that was. Obviously, you have alien beings that aren't who they say they are. You know, you say I'm a Palladian, and you hit a button, and all of a sudden you're a reptilian being. It's like the type of species, alien species I don't think there's really much of a name for it. Whatever it was, it wasn't really reptilian. It was like a little bit of everything, but it was like a creature type of thing. It wasn't pretty, yeah, because you look ugly to terrify the shit out of everybody. Especially reptilians or anybody. Yeah, use that ugliness to your advantage. So, and then you use your psychic abilities to tap into them and shut them down mentally. And just do everything you can to break down their defenses. So it's like chess. It's kind of like just who's the bigger of the, just who can defeat who. That's, however you want to look at that. So it's just soul growth. You can go through this and not learn anything, or learn not to mess with some. So that's why I feel like some. I don't know. I'll just leave it there. All right. We're going to Stalin's connections. Shit. I'm not sure where this is gonna go, but. This might be more of a conscious connection with him. Alright, one moment. Yeah, I don't think he's going to come through. Not yet. Not this time. It'll be more of a conscious channeling, but either way. He is wishing for forgiveness. He did a lot of good on this world. It wasn't all bad. Not all of the death and murder was up to him, but he did take the blame for it. He is paying for it right now. He's not going to go into details. He is in lower astral, but he's not in hell. But he is paying for it right now. You can say it's another version of Earth that's far worse than this one. Give me an example of that. One where he's powerless, and he's the slave now. But he's learned from his mistakes. So, let others define him as they wish for their own growth. See him as you wish to see him. But it is good to heal and move on, but never forget. Never forget what happened, but to learn from it and to help future generations to obviously avoid something like that, but understand this is a spiritual development. Even his life was very spiritual, but in a negative way. It shows that negativity through a spiritual connection can do a lot of harm. can take over minds, influence, be unfeeling, and just controlling. Yes, you want to take over the world, sort of. That was his plan. But Russia was. It just basically got tired of losing throughout his life. He got tired of feel like a failure and nothing, and showed he was better than that. And he had a lot of Arcturian energies. He had a lot of. It was mostly Arcturian, and he used it for a lot of bad. He controlled a lot of those that were around him. You know, his second in command. I keep forgetting what it's called, but anyway. Yeah, he controlled them. He ruined their lives, but yeah, he did a lot of mind control around the soldiers that were the commanding officers around him doing these atrocities. So he felt for a lot of the soldiers, especially when they got injured. He actually cared for them, but he felt like he was doing the right thing for humanity, at least at the time. Now, you know, he knew he was going to pay for this too. It's like, you know, like what's another 100 people of deaths? What's another million people? What's, you know, you're already in this. Might as well just finish the job. Keep going. So it wasn't about the number of deaths. It's about what was going on that's not seen in history. But he's basically a world destroyer, you can say. Hitler also, Mao also were world destroyers. When they can no longer destroy a world, they just destroy the people. And they knew a way of getting into the mindset of individuals and weakening them. But also, they do want to empower the worlds too, but under their regime. I mean, they want people to live a prosperous life, but under their rules. As you saw the communist connection there. So he does say China will eventually go with the communists. The communist ruling over China is just, it's fear. Fear over the people, fear over America, fear in general. And this virus that's going around is pretty bad, but not as bad as starvation. Especially as soul starvation. So there are worse things in life. But, you know, so say be thankful for the economics of your reality. Things are getting better. Russia is still healing. The world is healing. Russia getting all the bad slack in the media is laughable. Especially when the media is almost as bad as the USSR, of course. It's propaganda. It's a joke, basically. Now he doesn't look down on humanity. He does ask for forgiveness, but all of this is about getting stronger as a soul to overcome individuals like himself. So people like him can't come to power. People can find love and heal society. Society at that time was so disconnected from each other, fragmented. It's now more connected, as you see, even with the internet showing it is connecting more. Still a lot to go, but still it's a lot further than it was. It does think about the Soviets did have there was positive there. It wasn't all negative. It did have it better at creating infrastructure and economies. But yes, it also did kind of rob from other places too. But yeah, it's not perfect. But it felt like it was the better system. But this is from an alien world, and there are many other alien worlds that are very controlling, of course. There's a lot of sea creatures, sea alien beings in the waters of Russia, around Russia, that don't usually show themselves, but they are there. Alien beings that are just, like, say, patrolling the oceans in that area due to submarine activity, due to nuclear, espionage between all the countries. So they're settling. Aliens can definitely shut down any submarine attack or anything like that. They're trying to do their best, to shut down war under the seas. The virus that's going on, yes, is a lesson to humanity to call it a wake up call for what's to come. Not that things are going to get worse, but it's good to avoid these situations, of course. Many see these situations, get fearful. They don't want to see the truth of the origins of much of anything. They want to go back to their lives and live in their cocoon. Why not? And that's going to be normal, but the more you understand this earth, how basically many of you are going to go to a level of consciousness where you can see these things before they occur and even stop them in your third dimensional reality. You're getting there. It's not the rules here on this reality are not allowing it just yet, but eventually, because more people are going to become more psychically aware, instead of downplaying it, they'll accept it. It's a real thing and acknowledge it, even if they don't fully understand it. Like, for example, if they see, we'll just use Russia for it. Like, if Russia was creating a bioweapon, some of you will say it, put it out on the internet or whatever, and be taken seriously. Your government will take a look at it and say, "What the hell is this?" We're just saying that for example. So more of it be taken seriously. You're coming out of your spiritual cocoons, and society is still downplaying because it doesn't want to know too much about itself. It's like it's fine where it's TV, it's movies and all that, and just kind of lives in its little world. And many of you are here to bring it. It's like a spiritual cable, like you're adding these other channels. Technically, like you have the third dimensional cable, which has so many channels, but now you're bringing in the fourth dimensional cable, which has all these different channels. You look at the world so much differently. So it's more in the mind instead of on the television set. So you open up your minds is what's happening. As you know. So that's all. Well, this is a healing for him. That's all he has for right now. That's enough about devouring too much. You'll probably come in through. Again, similar to Zeus. That's a short version of it. So, alright. Okay, hopefully this is somewhat helpful to something. Yeah, I realized a lot was kept back for obvious reasons. Some of this is a little, that was appropriate or not. Or either way, it's what it is. Okay, all right, much love, blessings.